Free Alabama movement, continue our video series inside the Alabama Department of Corrections as we continue to profile inhumane and unconstitutional living conditions. We continue to profile economic policies of empowerment for prisoners, and we continue to advocate for sentences and parole reform. We'll continue with our video series today, continue to present real stories about real people who are incarcerated inside the Alabama Department of Corrections. These are young black men who were sentenced when they were very young. They served extended periods of incarceration inside the Department of Corrections. They're going to tell you their stories from young men from as young as 15 years old when you call this crime, and just let you know what it's like being in prison, the lack of opportunity for education and rehabilitation, the uncertainty about when they're going to go home, and why they feel like reform needs to be made inside the system and why they're ready to go home. So, introduce yourself. There's Mitch over there.
Mr. Cosby, I've been locked up since I was 20 years old. I got a life without sentence.
Where you from, man?
I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, Jefferson County.
Okay, hold on. We're going to get over here to Little Mook. Introduce yourself.
Mark Coming. I'm 23 at the time, but I got locked up when I was 17, 2007.
Okay.
Life sentence in Belton, Alabama.
All right.
I got locked when I was 15.
Where you from, Kevin? I already know where you're from. That's my nephew right there, y'all. He right here with me. That's my little nephew. So we're going to give him opportunity to tell his story also. Then we got little Fox right here out of Montgomery. AC Fox, what's up?
That's me. I'm AC Fox. I'm about Montgomery, Alabama, you know.
Alright.
Been serving a life sentence for murder.
Okay. Who we got over there on the window?
Peter Gus.
Alright.
Birmingham.
How old are you, Peter?
30.
30 years. How long you been locked up now?
5 years.
5 years. This not your first time being locked up? Third time? So how old were you when you first got incarcerated first time? 17. How much you did then?
5 years.
Okay. How much time you got now?
15.
15 years. Alright. We're going to get back with you in a minute. We're going to start over here with Lil Mook. And this is why I want to start with Lil Mook, because they did a newspaper article one time in Birmingham, Alabama. And I think they showed, how many was on the front? Was it 100, Mook? 50 young black men out of Jefferson County who were all incarcerated with life sentences or had life without or the death penalty.
At the age of 16.
At the age of 16. And Mook was one of those men. I think you got one brother or two brothers also incarcerated. One brother has a brother also incarcerated. So there's 2 members out of his family. And just tell me where you from, how did you cause your case, what education background you have, and things like that.
I'm from Belton, Alabama.
All right.
I'm from Cave in Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay.
At the age of 17, I did turn 17.
Okay. What were you charged with?
Capital murder.
Capital murder. So you were facing the death penalty at 17.
I'm facing the death penalty at 17.
Okay. The crime that you were charged with, was there more than one victim?
No, it's just one.
So it was just one victim, and the prosecutor wanted you at 17 years old to be facing a death sentence as a young black man. Okay. Tell me about your education background. Did you graduate high school?
No, last grade I completed was 3rd grade.
3rd grade, that's the last grade of completion.
Mm-hmm.
So come on, hey, hold on.
Kidding?
Yes, sir. You got to readjust this.
Come on, baby.
So, being facing capital murder, tell me what that's like for a 17-year-old.
To be honest with you, I really can't tell you what it's like. I can't see that far, man. It's just, to me, in my words, it's fucked up.
Yeah. So, did your lawyer know that you had quit school in the 3rd grade? How do you quit school in the 3rd grade? I don't understand what you mean by that.
They knew my whole background. You see, my last grade that I completed was the 3rd, but I made it to the 6th though.
Okay.
I wasn't supposed to be in the 6th.
Okay. And so when you were charged with the crime, they took you to the county jail and whatnot, you got your lawyer stuff. As you were preparing for trial and your age came up and your social background came up, was this your first time being in trouble?
No.
This your first?
My first time being in the county, ain't my first time being in trouble.
But his first time being charged with a crime was an adult.
Yeah.
And the very first time the prosecutor was trying to take your life from you.
Out the river.
Okay, so you got a life sentence now. How long you been incarcerated?
In 2007.
Okay, so about 6 years. So, and you got a life sentence, just one life sentence.
One life sentence.
Did you end up going to trial, or you end up copping again? You end up pleading out?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you got this life sentence at your age, I know you couldn't understood what that meant, but now that you've been in prison for 6 years, you got a life sentence. Tell me, what does it mean, just in your words, just over 6 years? What does it mean as far as when you gonna receive an opportunity to go back home?
Say it again.
Okay, you got a life sentence. When you first got the life sentence, you didn't really know what life sentence meant.
No.
But now that you've been in prison for 6 years, what do you understand life sentence to mean now, as far as when you gonna have opportunity to go home again?
Yeah, life sentence to me, man. I've been locked up 6 years going on 7.
Mm-hmm.
I love to lie to him. You feel me? But it gave me 15 years. It gave me 15 years setup to come up with parole 2026.
Okay, so how many people have you saw in prison with a life set up that actually got out the first time they went in for parole?
I ain't seen nobody do that.
So, just a general statement, you know it's a possibility that you'll end up doing at least 15 years in prison before you go home. And just on what you've seen from the system, you know it's a possibility you end up doing more than that.
More than 15 years.
And what type of opportunity do you see? What do they offer you as far as rehabilitation and education? From your background, you quit school in the 6th grade. Do you feel like the services are here to help you deal with the issues that brought you to prison?
Not really.
I mean, have you seen any computer classes or anything like that to prepare you for computers when you get back out in the street?
No, not really.
So what do you have a job? How do you take care of yourself?
No, I ain't got no job or nothing. The job they give me, I don't pay. They're working for free. You know what I'm saying?
So you don't even have,
no job.
so you don't have a way to take care of yourself. You're 17 years old, you don't have an education, and you got a life sentence. And you know that you got to do at least 15 years before you get out of prison.
At least 15, but yeah, me, you know, maybe do more than 15.
So do you want to be educated? Do you want to be rehabilitated? Do you feel like you need those things and that you can use them?
I know that I need them.
Okay, if they offer them, would you be willing to accept those things?
No hesitation.
All right. Tell me about the living conditions, what you've seen inside of prison from being a 17-year-old, just the overall violence level, how crowded it is, and just what you have to go through on a day-to-day basis.
Every day for the been locked up, it's been straight living condition and no good.
Yeah.
The mat, you know what I'm saying? The mat might not even have all the cushion in it. They go one mat right
There
there.
go a mat right here. I already showed y'all the size of the mat. You can see how thin it is. We're sleeping on top of concrete beds. This one right here is busted apart. And you can see that this is all you got. You know, this is what you sleep on top of the steel. We showing y'all what the rust looks like. And we just continue to profile these conditions because we want people to understand that guys in prison want to be out of prison. But while we're in prison, we also want to be treated humanely. All right, I'm going to go to you next, Mr. Brooks. Tell me a little bit about your background. You say you were 15 years old when you caught your case. And what were you charged with at that time? So was that your first time being charged as a crime as an adult? So at 15 years old, you telling me that a prosecutor wanted you in prison with adults at 15?
Come on, man, life sentence.
And I mean, just what does that mean to a 15-year-old? Tell us about what you felt when this was going on, and now that you've been in prison for a little while, just tell us when you look back and think about what they did to you at 15 years old. How does it make you feel?
I've been locked up 10 years, or I lost all of them crimes.
And you back now, you start out, I know you ended up pleading out to a lesser offense. Tell us about that, what you pled out to, and how much time you ended up receiving on the crime.
Took a grind plea on the manslaughter. Judge gave me a split.
How much time was that?
20 split
20 split 5. So you came out and did the 5 years. And you got out, you actually got out of prison. This is your second time back, right? So you came back. So why did you end up coming back to prison? What happened?
Came back on a dirty urine. I did 5 years.
So you did just as much time on the dirty urine as you did for killing somebody.
Attorney General protested. He, Troy King, he protested me 5 years and he called a case.
So the man who at the parole hearing saying he don't want you out for parole, he a criminal also.
He got caught 2 months later for embezzling.
So, so I mean, so when you getting out, Mr. Brooks, you got 20 years.
2022.
That's when your time is up. 20 years, and you feel like they're gonna make you do the whole 20 or most of it.
No, I mean, pretty much is that. Know what they say?
So when they set you out for parole, how long they set you out for this last time? So they said, what did they say you need to do to be ready in 5?
The Fed gonna come pick me up.
For what?
They just tell you, they just.
So that's what they turned you down for, because the Fed's gonna come pick you up. Not
I
cause
ain't got a Fed case. I ain't got no case pending that.
so not because you need a life skill. You got a certificate.
I got a trade, electric trade.
You got your GED.
Certificate, all types.
So what do they continue to hold you in prison for?
They can't even. They said the Fed gonna pick me up. Fed ain't came in 3 years. I said nothing. Ain't nothing pending.
So being so young, I think when you came to St. Cloud, you were the youngest person at the prison. So what does that mean? How do you feel when you realize that and they tell you, you the youngest guy on the compound and you ain't even 17 years old yet? What goes through the mind of a child your age being put in a situation like this?
I don't know. You heard the story, so this is my first time in prison.
You just don't know. It's a whole new world. You don't know what to do, and that's the point we continue to make with the Free Alabama movement. Why you gonna put a child in a situation that an adult can't even interpret or understand? What do you expect from a child when adults don't know what's going on? And this is a real life example of what the system is about. This is how they incarcerate young black men, and these are the faces. This is what they look like. 17 years old, 18, 20 years old, 15. This is what the prison is about, 17 years old. All right, Mr. Fox. How much time you got?
2 licenses.
2 licenses. This your first time in prison?
Yeah.
It's your first time. So the first time you come down, you end up with 2 licenses. How long you been incarcerated now?
Going on 9 years.
Going on 9 years. I know you've been active in the prison system. You've been a leader. You done educated yourself. Tell us how you went about educating yourself to, try to get out of prison.
Well, got my GED, studied a little law, try to fight my charges, certificates, entrepreneurial classes. Right now I'm in heating the air.
Okay. So you doing all the things that needed for a person to be productive in society. You realize that you needed those things. You're taking advantage of them. So what are your prospects for release right now? What is your situation as far as this? You got a parole date? How confident do you feel about that? Just being real and knowing how the system works. You know you got a parole date coming up. You're going to get your GED anyway. You still got your life skills. You still getting your certificate. But just tell the people what it means. Just be real. Let them know, what we up against in the prison system.
Man, to be honest, hell might freeze up. To be honest, because, they ain't gonna just release nobody on parole when you ain't down with the system. You got to be telling something. You got to be in here supporting the officer or something. They ain't gonna just let you out.
Even when you're ready, no matter what type of rehabilitation you got.
I got
everything.
You can get.
Yeah, you got everything that they say you needed and supposed to have, and yet you still don't know when you might get out of prison. And while you in prison, what about the living conditions in prison? How do you feel about the overcrowding and the filth and things of that nature?
Ridiculous, man. I ain't never seen nothing like this in my life. Never. Honestly. Never. It's like living in an abandoned building.
But tell us about the medical care, you know, the violence level. We just had a guy die in his sleep. He went to the infirmary 2 times. They turned him back both times. He dead the next morning. You know, it just happened the other day. Then we had police officers just beat the hell out of a dude, bust his head all up the other day. You know what I'm saying? And we live like this on a daily basis, so knowing that you're not going to get out anytime soon and that they got us in the system, how do you feel about that? Just describe what it's like being inside of Alabama's prison system.
Man, just pray you don't get sick, man, because the medical, man, I promise you, man, you ain't trying to deal with it. People ain't trying to deal with you. They going to treat you like worse than an animal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're not going to give you the proper medical attention. It may take days before they see you. You know, and it can be something serious.
What about, they say right now it's a scabies outbreak at one of the other level 4 adventures. Say they the whole prison locked down and quarantine right now. And so, what is it? And they say it's scabies up here at St. Clair right now. We don't even know nothing about that. They say
Brian got in my block.
he got scabies right now.
Dude downstairs in my block. Right,
He's just still in the block.
He had it for about a month.
It's about the AIDS.
Yeah, we just had the AIDS patients come in. They supposed to gave us classes educating us on that. Anybody in here got a class?
No, I ain't heard nothing about it. They leaving you with a chance to have a confrontation because you know he in prison. You know what I'm saying? Little arguments seem to go a little farther. Little arguments about sports and stuff seem to go farther than it usually should go.
Because we're on top of each other.
Yeah.
Because of over the crowd. And there's so many different
Too
people.
many people in here, too many personalities clashing for no apparent reason. I'm saying it's like an instigate. They like to see this is what they talk about. This is how they laugh and joke. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what's his name just died? You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about this is the talk of officers. These are the people that's supposed to children. These are children. You know what I'm saying? they supposed to be looking over me. You know what I'm saying? I've been locked up 13 years and I got a 21-year-old laughing and joking about one of my peers getting killed or dying. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a game or something. You know what I'm saying? I want to go home. You know what I'm saying?
But you don't have opportunity, man.
It's no opportunity. Man. You know what I'm saying?
But you got to go to work every day.
And then for the first time to become in prison, you just don't get to go home no more. That's how they do it. This is the system that we're stuck in right now. I'm talking about at least up north right now. They give you they say it's 20 to life, right? You know what I'm saying? You do 20 years and you go home. They got some hope of going home.
Right, and when you don't have any opportunity to go home, when you piled up on top of each other, and you living in a type of condition where it's inevitable that we're gonna have violence.
Then you got people with HIV, AIDS, whatever you want to call it, scabies, sicknesses. You know what I'm saying? People that don't even want to go to the shower because, you know what I'm saying, another man find him attractive. You know what I'm saying? And these are the conditions that we growing up in.
Right.
That's what we're doing. We're still growing up in here. I'm 33, but I don't understand. It got to be something better than this.
Well, are y'all familiar with the Free Alabama movement? How many of y'all know about the Free Alabama movement? Who all? Is anybody here who haven't heard about the Free Alabama movement?
I just not.
Oh, just today. Okay, you just got here today. What about you, Mook? You already familiar with it? Okay, I know you know familiar with it. Well, the principles of the Free Alabama movement, as y'all know, is nonviolent peaceful protest for civil and human rights. We asking for changes and improvements in our living conditions. We're trying to establish economic policies that allow us, to be compensated for our labor, to realize what our power is. And we're also asking for sentencing and parole. Oh, yeah, them the shoes. Show them them. These the shoes that you got to walk around on concrete on all day.
If you want a pair of boots, you got to go work in the kitchen or the industry or something like that.
So if you ain't got nobody and you don't have nothing, that's what you have to wear.
If you don't have
Yeah. These you don't get these brand new. You get these shoes, and you get them available, but this is what you walk around on concrete on, and mess with your posture, it mess with your back, it cause you problems with your tendons and bones, but you know this is how we living up in here.
You know what I'm saying? No arts. And then they want to charge you for medical treatment. You know what I'm saying? They already get paid enough, don't they?
You work for free, but they want you to pay for medical.
They want you to pay for
$3 armband, $3 ID.
My mama sent me $10 for me to get me something to eat with. $10 for me to get me something to eat with. They cut first. You know what I'm saying? If I go to the infirmary, even if I refuse, you know what I'm saying?
They charging you for that.
You still gotta get them $4.
Even though you went 3 days after you turned in your request slip.
3 days, I'm talking about, and it ain't like they giving you immediate medical condition, attention. You ain't going up there and saying, man,
you ain't going to the ER.
You
dropping a request in the box and waiting on them to get it.
And after you act up, you get rolled up, you know what I'm saying, which is another scratch against you going home, you know what I'm saying, to get some medical attention, you know what I'm saying. You got to actually put yourself in a objective for them to hit you in the head with a stick.
So let me ask all of y'all something as a group. I mean, if they provided opportunities for us where we could earn our way to get back free, they would create a different psychology inside the minds of the prison. Guys would be less likely to commit more violence. They'd be more enthusiastic about going to classes and learning things that they need to do.
It's a chance of going home. It's a chance of freedom. I get anything for a settle that I can see something on, because they gave you dates that ain't got no expiration. My expiration date on I have never heard of the 99th month of the 99th year of the 99th day. I've never heard of this. Where is this day? When would I ever reach this day? They give you no chance of going home. They give you nothing to see. You cannot see it. You cannot see it. You know what I'm saying? All right, they tell some people you got to do 15 years on a life sentence. You do 15 years, you're bound to have a problem within them 15 years. You know that one problem against you
for another 15 years.
Another 15 years. I'm going to set you off fire. You tripped over your shoestring and you killed that person. You said, 5 years set off, you know what I'm saying? Well, you're not really showing it. Y'all, you're not participating. You're not working. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't paying me. But you want me to work. You want me to go and slave over a kitchen for nothing. You know what I'm saying? You want me, and I'm hungry too. You know what I'm saying? I want to eat. I want to put some shoes on my feet. Don't the shoes cost $100? I don't have $100. Where I'm going to get some shoes from? You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got no family support, if you don't beg your mama for some money, then, you know what I'm saying? Ain't my mama did enough for me? You know what I'm saying? Can I do something for myself one time? I don't call home and ask for money, because guess what? I haven't been to the store in 7 years. Guess what? Because my mama has done enough for me. They don't give you an opportunity
to do for yourself.
To do for yourself. You know what I'm saying? They want you to get out with the mentality that somebody always do for you. You know what I'm saying? Which is going to give you the same opportunity to come back here because somebody ain't do something for you and you need something. You ain't got the skills to do it for yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when you do have the skills to do it for yourself, you ain't going home. You know what I'm saying? It's a round system. They want you to come back. They don't want you to learn nothing. They don't want you to teach the young man something. They don't want you to educate yourself. Because when you educate yourself, you buck in the system. You know what I'm saying?
That's what it boiled down to.
That's
what it boiled down to.
You know what I'm saying? If you know something, if you teach him something, they see you teaching him something, guess what they going to do? They going to snatch you out their group. You know what I'm saying? You go,
harassing you, writing.
To the boat so they can send you where they want to lock up get you out the way.
You already not giving us anything. I got one sheet on my bed and I can't even get another one. You know what I'm saying? I got one sheet. This is all the clothes I got on.
And no pillow.
Everything I got right now. You ain't got no pillow. I got on. This is everything I got right now. This is all the clothes I have. You know what I'm saying? Because my laundry bag came up missing, and they telling me,
that's your problem.
That's no problem. You know what I'm saying? But you told me to give you my laundry bag so you can wash my clothes. You ain't give me nothing to wash my clothes with. You want me to take the soap that you told me I got to bathe with, wash my clothes, then what I'm going to bathe with? know what I'm saying? You gotta give me something. Give me something to look at. I ain't got nothing to buy no soap. Can you help me out, please? You know what I'm saying? Give me something to look at. I ain't got nothing to see. I can't see nothing. I ain't seen nothing, man. I ain't seen a helping hand. And I try not to put myself in front of them and ask them for anything, because then they down you and degrade you. They want to talk to you any kind of way. I am a grown man. Please talk to me like I'm a grown man, because I talk to you with respect. Anybody that I deal with, first, is respect. I'm going to give you your respect first. They have no respect, and then these children, 21, 22, 23 years old, you know what I'm saying? Have you real rough.
Yeah.
And then
So many conflicts.
they got attitudes that want to hit you in the head with a stick.
And you talking about officers?
Then they don't want me to fight.
Yeah, you talking about the officers, 21.
18, 19,
And they want to hit
12 years
you
old.
with a stick. You know what I'm saying? Or a great man that hit with some mace and jump on me and handcuff me and beat me. You feel me? Oh, and then they ain't even gotta be they gonna write a statement. Yeah, I think.
Charge you with assault.
You did it. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what it is.
I'm
What about the courts?
The-
I'm gonna go back to Fox over here on them. Fox, tell us about litigation in the judicial system when you trying to show your constitutional rights been violated.
Man, it's ridiculous. Like I said, hey man, these people, man, they got a system set up where it's really a trap. It's really like, there's no way out, man. There's no hope. Why should we have hope when there's none?
There's no reason.
You can go to the court and you know you're right. They know they violated. They're lie. They're intentionally lying right there in every court from the lowest to the highest is right there with it. You go to federal courts, you know, that's a different ball game. But
They ain't letting nobody go.
they ain't let nobody go. You know, I guess Alabama been bucking and they don't want to start another civil war, so the court just they ain't giving nobody no support, no help, no matter how bad the constitutional violation is. You know, it don't matter.
Somebody gotta steal some rights and give it to you.
It really don't matter. It's like we don't have no rights.
We slaves, that's what we are. We're in a modern day slave system.
It's just like we left. When you don't have rights,
That's the first thing they tell you. You
you don't have a court
rights.
system.
You don't have rights.
What is a court system?
If it don't want to address the wrong,
Exactly.
what is it?
We can't get our wrongs addressed. But every time we do something wrong, you know, they taking us through some court proceeding and finding us guilty. And I can't
And that's it. And that's the end of the story.
in the story. What appeal process? A real appeal process, not just appeal, just saying,
You file a
copy
bill.
us some documents saying it's an appeal. No,
Where the review at?
what a real review. Because they can review your case and then review it just like the media from the beginning.
Yeah.
When you right there as the bad guy, you might have been defending your life. We're not killing innocent kids. We're not killing the school teacher leaving school in the afternoon. We're not killing them. We're killing guys who intimidate us, who want to rob us, who want to hurt us, who want to come through our community and do what they want to do. But we have a right. We should.
George Zimmerman had the right then.
Right.
Yeah, Trayvon.
Protect your family.
Give us the same right. We deserve the same right to defend our life.
Look at your homeboy. He got shot. And he in prison with a manslaughter. Marquez.
Yeah,
Marquez. He got shot.
could have lost his life.
Dude beat him up and shot him, and he in here.
Yeah. Then I got another partner. Dude beat him with a gun, shot him. And now he's serving a whole 20 years for killing the dude that shot him and tried to take his life.
Hey, look at Sid. Same thing. He got shot like he got killed.
Yeah.
He's still in prison.
No, I ain't what I said.
You get shot on the streets. You know what I'm saying? If you get shot on the streets and you're not on your property, you ain't got no self-defense. You going to jail.
If you black, you ain't got no self-defense anyway.
If you defend yourself, I'm telling you, this is Alabama. I don't know about other states, but Alabama, you have no, if you defend yourself and you are not in your home, you know what I'm saying? If you could be getting beat to death, you know what I'm saying? You pick up a stick and stab him in the neck. It ain't got to be a knife or anything. You pick up a stick and stab him in the neck, and this person just so happens to die. He gets stabbed in the stomach, and they make a mistake and hit his heart or something, and he actually died. you going to jail. Yeah, ain't no gift answer about it. You gonna get a whole big set
Yeah.
no matter what's going on.
You be 14.
You be 14 years old.